Hi, it's David C. Jones, and we are once more before the curtain goes up. Although at the very beginning, the curtain comes down because I don't know how to turn that around. So it's kind of weird. It's before the curtain goes up, but the curtain comes down. Weird. And I am here once again. Oh my gosh, he's working so much. Omari Newton. How are you, Omari?
I am excellent, David. Always a pleasure to see you.
Yeah, and you're directing again.
I know.
You're such a good actor, but here you are always behind everyone now.
I'm excited. I'm consciously trying to direct more and focus more on writing and directing as I get older, as I get up there.
Nice, nice. Now, this show is called Passover, and it's part of the Ensemble Theatre repertory season. Now, before the pandemic, I think they used to do 3 shows in rep, but this time they're doing 2 shows in rep. Is that correct?
Yeah. Yes, they're doing Marjorie Prime and Passover.
Now, what did you bring Passover to Tarek, or did Tarek bring Passover to you?
You know what's funny is I don't remember. I think he brought it to me, but I know that we were both familiar with the show and we were both like fans of the piece. But I actually don't remember. Tarek and I are friends, and we often talk about social justice issues and theater. And this play was a perfect marriage of both.
Fantastic. Now, this is a bit of a. I was just reading up on it because and you can tell me about the Spike Lee connection to it
Mhm.
in a second. But this is sort of like they're using as a pastiche Waiting for Godot. It's not a parody, or it's not a parody of Waiting for Godot, but it's using Godot Beckett's play as a jumping off point.
The playwright Antoinette Nwandu said in an interview that the play is sort of an amalgamation of Waiting for Godot and the Bible's Exodus story. So the piece takes place originally in the south side of Chicago. It stars it's about these two friends, Moses and Kitch, these two young black men who are just stuck living on the streets by this lamppost and just sort of navigating the threats of white supremacy that manifests in many different forms in the play, primarily through there's a white actor who plays the 2 different characters, Mr. and Ossifer. And I don't want to spoil anything, but they both bring threats in different ways. And that character is played by Alex Forsyth. And of course, Moses is played by Chris Francis, and Kitch is played by Kwesi Thomas.
Nice. I love Chris Francis. Seen him in a couple shows, and he very rightly won a Justy Award for his work in Superior Donuts because he was just like sometimes you just go, that is a breath of fresh air.
I,
Like,
I love him too. He's one of my, full disclosure, he's one of my close friends. And we first worked together on The Shipment, where I had the pleasure of acting with him, directing him initially, and then was thrust into acting with him as well. But yeah, he's brilliant. And, Kwesi Thomas, who many TV people know, he's actually a series recurring on Snowpiercer, and he's a rising stand-up comic locally as well.
oh wow! So now this show is so you got all 3 of these guys in this. This show is a dark comedy, would like because Beckett's kind of surreal. But
Yeah.
I would guess this is because it's the social issues that it's dealing with. It's surreal, but also incredibly painful because you might
Yeah.
go, ha ha, ow.
It is not a comedy in the Aristotelian sense. Not to nerd out, but like it doesn't end happy. I don't want to spoil anything, but it's not a comedy. There's no wedding at the end. but
Okay. And
it
I'm
is.
gonna.
Yeah, there are elements of, yeah. We just nerded out there big time, but there are elements that are very funny and absurd and surreal, and poetic and beautiful. But it's not a comedy.
So, so in Waiting for Godot, the 2 men are waiting for someone to arrive with a message that will enlighten them or reassure them. So similar in this show.
These 2 characters are constantly thinking of passing over, which is reaching the promised land, and leaving the drudgery of their existence for a better place, where they're safe and they have a stable home and food. And so they're constantly waiting to pass over and trying to find a way to pass over.
Mm. Now, what is Spike Lee
Mhm.
got involved with this script? So that's a sign that because he doesn't have to do anything, right? Because he's Spike Lee, but he saw this play and went, "I got to do something with this."
I think I heard a podcast way back where I think he and the playwright had the same agent, and the agent sent the script. It's kind of like a theater dream story. The agent sent the script to Spike Lee and was like, "You got to see this." Spike Lee saw it and loved it so much, he said he wanted to make it into a movie. But really, if you watch the movie, which is on Amazon Prime, it's a very fancy archival video. They make no bones about the fact that it's a play. They show you the audience, you hear the audience laugh. So, and she's joked and said this, that she got Spike Lee to shoot a really expensive archival video.
Nice. So it's probably one of those things like they do for like the Hamilton show or Rent when they made the movie version, not the first movie version of Rent, where they filmed it over several different days because they were able to put cameras in different spots because you don't want to disrupt the audience by going, "Excuse me, we're just coming through here to film this."
Yeah, and they had multicam setup, and what was also brilliant, and Spike Lee shows this in the montage at the beginning, is he bussed in black audience members because from Chicago to see the piece, and I know. I imagine in some areas in America it's different, but in Canada, it's rare that you get a predominantly black audience in a theater. And I'm sure Spike Lee recognized this as well. And he wanted it to be shown to black audiences and hear how they responded to it.
Because they're going to respond to it completely differently from a different perspective. That makes total sense to me.
Mhm.
I think, I mean, we heard about that with Peter Pan where they brought in all the kids at the first performance because they're like, "This, we're not going to play this for this audience. They're not going to respond to it the same way." Now, ensemble theater, just to wrap up, ensemble theater always sort of counter programs. They normally summer is seen as a time of doing like light, fluffy, see how they run comedies and stuff like that. And ensemble has really built a name for itself of doing these more intelligentsia plays. What do you think is the reasoning behind that, or why do you think they do that?
I know that Tarek, the AD, is a very thoughtful guy, and I know that he's got a big heart and he cares a lot about social justice issues. And I think he like many of us, right, knows that the city, many of us crave work that is rigorous intellectually and has a message behind it. And I think he as a counterpoint to what oftentimes is shown in Vancouver and in the summer, he wants to bring some more grit, and I respect that.
Yeah, and the shows always do well, so he's not wrong. He's not wrong. Now, is this the first time at the Waterfront? Because they used to be at the Jericho Arts Center.
I believe it is. Yeah, I believe
Okay.
so. Anybody who hears ensemble and is worried about the summer heat, the waterfront's air conditioned. You got no excuse to come on down. You'll be super comfortable. Jericho did used to get hot.
Yeah, that was one of the issues. It was a big barn, so it got really cold during the winter, and they did the shows in the summer, and it got really, really hot. All right, well, you have one. You get the last word. Well, I'll get the very, very last word, but you get the last word. Why should people come and see this show? Why should they come inside to the theater and see Passover?
I think it's a beautiful piece of writing, and I'll humbly submit, I think our company does justice to the production. And, you know, for many of us, pre George Floyd, anti Black racism and police brutality were important issues to us. Post George Floyd, I think the conversation is really part of the zeitgeist in North America, certainly. And I think if people want to feel a visceral reflection on anti Black racism, white supremacy, that's also funny and entertaining, they should come see Passover.
Nice. So you got a great cast, you got a great director, great theater company, great theater. You should not miss Passover, playing in repertory with Ensemble Theater Company this summer, coming soon.
Awesome.
Is there-